Hey gang, Uncle Todd here, along with Sonny. And in this, the 6th episode of Resident Alien, we open with an astronaut doing some repair work on the International Space Station when he sees an alien ship come by and head towards Earth. He's a little freaked. The ship lands. Out pops the alien baby from last season, and he scampers off as the ship gets cloaked. We then move on to the main episode where Heather offers to clean the gills of Harry. He's amphibian, and so he air or water, he can roar. And she does that, and then she puts them all in a trash bag, and then she says, I'm just going to throw these out and then go get some cigarettes. You don't smoke cigarettes. You're trying something new. I like that you're adventurous. And she says, yeah, well, if I don't come back for a while, I'm just out getting serious. And then she races away in her car. Later, a pigeon delivers a note from Heather. It's a Dear John note. But Harry, being Harry, keeps sending her back things with questions. And she has to keep sending back responses until finally she just portals in and says, stop this. You're exhausting the pigeon. She explains it's over. I'm sorry. I never loved you. And then she leaves. Harry is devastated. He had been working on the bomb, or a bomb, that could help defeat the Greys. But now he won't do anything. He's just moping around, crying, lamenting his lost love. Let's see where we are here. Meanwhile, someone had been following Mike, Sheriff Mike, and he was very upset about this. Finds out it's his ex-girlfriend Torres's son. He's very upset with Mike because Mike made her cry. He doesn't know what Mike's problem is. So what if his mom wants to pay for stuff? Get over it. But since she made him upset, he made her upset, he wants him to stay away from her. Mike says that's not a problem, really. Mayor Ben has been getting complaints about Liv wasting taxpayers' money with UFO investigations. It turns out it is, of course, her Nana. Sheriff Mike and Mayor Ben, they have a bit of a go-to, but nothing gets settled. Meanwhile, Darcy Ann asked to have a fight over Jay living with them and some of the pent-up hostilities they have towards each other come out. And Asta storms away. The general visits Harry. She wants to know what the progress on the bomb is, and having learned that his alien bird girlfriend has left him, she brings over an ostrich to help him get over it. Saying, I make no judgment on what you aliens do, but I thought this might help. Well, Harry's not going to sleep with the ostrich, but it is nice to have a bird to talk to, so he's going to talk to it. Oh, but he is warned. It's a rental. It's got to be returned eventually, so he can't, kill and eat it or something. Meanwhile, Kate goes to one of Liv's UFO meetings, and at first she just wants to listen, but then she gives a whole confession about her worries and her concerns, and she's not sure what's going on. And she gets comfort from a mother and daughter. The mother doesn't believe, but she wants to support her daughter, which has an effect on Liv. Harry disappears. Asked if he remembers, when he's wanting to be alone and contemplate things, he goes up to the top of one of the mountains. So, Darcy, being part of the Avalanche Patrol and rescue, they grab a chopper and the pilot, and they head off to search for him. At which point, they try to drag the pilot into their argument. At which point, he cuts off his mic and earphones. He doesn't want to be a part of it. Anyway, Mike and Liv go to see her Nana. Finally have it out. And after some hesitancy, Liv just unleashes on her. At which point, Nana has a heart attack and falls over. She'll be okay. It's just a minor heart attack. And while the paramedics are loading her into the ambulance, Liv swipes all of Nana's recipes that she'd always promised to give her but never would. Before this, Heather and Joseph had met, where she gives him the DNA, and they get into an Abbott and Costello-esque argument where he threatens her niece. My niece? No, your niece. Why would you threaten my niece? No, your niece. Oh, my niece. I got confused because her name is Knees. Your niece is named Knees? Yes. How are we losing to you? That's a great one. Unfortunately, they're spied on by Judy, who calls Darcy and relays this hot bit of gossip. So that when they find Harry, he realizes Heather's been working with the Greys all along. Not true, but can't blame him for thinking that. They must be wanting to make a clone. But why? Maybe they got the orb. But he gave it to the alien tracker's son. So he calls the alien tracker's son. Joseph answers, gives him some ridiculous answers that you assume a human would know. And then Harry hangs up and goes, "They've got him again." They need to activate the orb because it helps control water, which means they can accelerate their plans if they can get that clone up and running. Harry's got to get that bomb made quick. While all this has been going on, Ben snoops around the sheriff's office and finds the murder board on the alien tracker's death, and sees that Joseph, who's disappeared, is their prime suspect. At which point, we see here. That night, Kate handcuffs herself to bed, hoping that will have an effect, although I don't think it will. And we end with the alien baby attacking a truck driver, pulling him into his truck bed, killing, consuming, and taking over his identity, as they are shapeshifters. Whereupon he goes into the diner where the truck driver was parked and has a cup of coffee, and she asks him, what you doing up here? I don't see you very often. I haven't seen you before. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just here to kill my father." Dun dun dun! So, things are heading towards quite the slobber knocker. You got the Greys and the General and now his alien son all trying to take him out. Next episode's going to be a big ballyhoo, if that's a correct word. Very funny episode. I love the fact that even when they go to rescue Harry, Darcy and Ass to try to drag Harry into their fight. It all stems around Asta kind of blurting out that the reason she didn't tell Darcy about Harry originally was because she's too impulsive. She should tell someone, and she just couldn't trust her in that regard, which has just caused them to go back and forth, and constantly trying to drag someone else into their fight. As always, a very funny episode. Alan Tudyk didn't have a lot to do, but he was hilarious in his morning phase. He shows up in this at the door at this bathrobe in a feather boa for some reason. Of course, he dated a bird, so the feathers. Yeah. This show is so crazy. Well, that's all I have to say about this one. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time.